Well, today we're harvesting the sorghum stalks. I've already pulled the tops off. That one right there doesn't have any seeds, so we left it on there. So I pulled the tops off and have them hanging in the house drying about a week and a half ago. Or maybe it's been about a week. Okay, but this week we're going to go ahead and pull the stalks. Now supposedly with the stalks you can make molasses out of them or sugar. So we're going to give it a try. We don't have a press, so I found a couple of videos on how to do it without, and I'm going to give it a try. So come along and let's see if it works out. Right now I'm just taking all of the leaves off, giving it to the goats and pig who are really enjoying the leaves, and then I'm left with just the stalks themselves, and that's what we're going to be pulling the sugar out of those stalks and see if we can make some molasses. So I wanted to show you where we got all of the sorghum hanging. It's in the dining room.
Well, this is one of the things
and I threaded a string on the stalk. I actually tied them first, but then they all, as they shrunk from drying, they started falling. So I took a needle and strung it and actually sewed it into the stalk. So they are all drying right now. And we get a change here. We are going to go ahead and process the stalks. You can see my stalks. I'm going to take my jacket off here so it might be jiggly. Okay. So you'll see the stalks right there. That's my okra. I'm letting them dry so I can get the seed. And basically, what we need to do is cut this all up. So you'll see that there's knuckles. These are the knuckles. Everywhere you see a knuckle, you don't use the knuckle, so you want to cut on this side and this side of the knuckle and get rid of, you could discard the knuckle altogether. I'm just going to throw it right out here in the yard, and the chickens and stuff will peck at it, and that'll be good for them. So we got a lot to do, and I'm going to get that all cut up, and then I'll show you what the next step is. So after you cut these all up, next step, you can do this a couple different ways. One way you'll notice if you look out there on YouTube is to cut these up into small little pieces and then boil them, and then go through and take all of the outside edges off. This is the pith. It's really easy to break. That's where all the moisture is. That's where all the sugar is. This outside pieces, there's nothing in them. But if you have them already cut, I mean, knuckles here, I just cut one side. You just grab it and pull it. It's about as hard as shucking corn pretty much. And you don't even have to do it all. You just do at least half of it across. And then you could go ahead and come down here by the knuckle and it'll pull out the rest of it. Now that's up to you. If you want to sit there and pull the rest of this out, you can actually go all the way down and get that little bit. But there's really not much left there. And it comes off really super easy. The only thing is it is a little time consuming. You'll see it if I just do one without talking. There you go. So that's how long it takes to do one. You can do absolutely all of them. I had found that these are the very tops, and these are a little harder to do, and you're not going to get much from them. So, I mean, it's up to you if you want to do them. but I'm only going to do the larger ones. The really, really tiny ones at the top, I decided not to do because it's a lot of work for a tiny bit of pith, which isn't really a whole lot. So, but this is the next step I am doing. Getting rid of all the outside edges of the shaft and just keeping this pith that's in the side. And as soon as I'm done doing the rest of these, go over and show them how much is there. That's what's left of all of those that we've done. And I've been at this for probably about 40 minutes right now. So it is a little time consuming. And if you're going to do a whole lot, I would definitely not suggest to do this. I would invest into a press of some sort. This is the first time we've ever done sorghum. So this is we want to try it and see what it tastes like. This could actually replace all the sugar in your house. We also are going to be doing tapping our maple trees in the fall, or I'm sorry, in the spring, in order to be able to get maple syrup. So we could also use that for actual sugar by not taking it all the way down to actual maple syrup. Anyways, let me finish this up and we are going to go ahead and show you the next step after we get these all cut up. Alright, so we are all done. Darren ended up helping do the rest of it. So what we are doing now is I have my food processor out and I'm just going to hit and then I just cut these up into small pieces and pop them in. There we go. So it makes all this fiber. Then what I usually do is I'm just going to dump it into there. And that's what it makes. So remember, this is where all the sugar is. So we are going to add some water to this until it just covers everything. And then we let it soak and we simmer it and stuff, and it will pull all the sugar out of this. So then we just strain it. This can all go to the chickens, which they will love it, and go from there. So I got quite a few more to do. I'm going to finish that up, and then I'll bring you back when we're ready to add the water.
You're asking the way.
Alright, so we are done. Can you keep it down, please? So we are done. I was going to try and do it all into one, but it's not going to work because I have just as much into this one as well. And that's a much bigger pot. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add some water. So, I'm going to have to add just a little bit more to this one. That's just a little too thick still. And then we still got to add water into that. So let's get some more water. You don't want it real thick. Remember, this is a first time for me, so doing sorghum. So I really don't know, but I'm just trying to take my cooking experience and figuring out what actually, that's part of the stock, to try and figure out if this is going to work. So I do know that you don't want nothing really thick when you're going to put it on there, because you're going to end up burning the bottom. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stick this up onto high, and I'm going to let that come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we've got another piece in there. Again, just the stock.
He's near.
Once it comes to a boil, we'll then turn it down. So now we have to do the same thing with this one. So let's get some come up into here. There we go. Let's take our spatula. Okay, so see how thick that is? Really big pieces. We pour a little at a time and I'll put some back. This has a lot more in it than that other pot. Get to the bottom, make sure you scrape that bottom. You don't want nothing sitting on the bottom, it'll burn. Okay, same thing. Let's turn this on high. We'll get it going. And I'll just leave this water over to the side. And we will sit there and let it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil and stuff, we will turn it down to 3 or 4, medium low. Just enough to keep it boiling. We want it to boil for a while. Alright. It's been an hour. This one is really done awesome. It's really cooked down. This one also has really cooked down. So now I'm going to use the same thing we used for water. I have one of these strainers, and we're just going to try and get as much pulp out as we can. And then I got a fine mesh sieve. That we can actually get the rest of it out. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go in and try and pull out as much of the moisture and water as I can, let it stay in the pot. And I'm going to put it into here. You want to try and keep as much of the liquid as you possibly can, because that's what has the sugar in it. And we'll pour it into there. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back when I'm ready to actually strain it.
Oh, the thing's missing.
Yeah. All right. So I poured all the water out of this into here. I got all that, and I had Darren taste it, and he said there's no sugar left in it. So that means it's all in the water. So I took all the water, like I said, I took all the water out of here, I poured it into here, then I washed this so there's no stuff in there. I got a fine meshed strainer in which we are going to go ahead and strain it in. So he's just going to use a ladle, and he's going to ladle it in. You could probably turn that burner off. I just need to keep this one in. You can't do that because then you're going to end up with stuff still in there. But you're good, okay. So this is going to take a little while. And as the strainer gets full, I'll go ahead and dump it. And we'll just keep carrying on until we have all of the water strained, all the juice strained, and into one pot. And then it's going to be time to start boiling. So, hold on a minute.
It's too bad that lady's still on there.
And we will be right back. Alright, well, we ended up having to strain it 3 times. So we ended up putting it all into here. And then whatever I got went into there, into our POW. And then we ended up pouring all this into the big pot after I washed it. And through that sieve, that fine mess strainer. And then I washed this pot, and then we poured it back from the big pot into here because I wanted to end up in this one because it's wider. So that's going to give it more surface area to boil. And I think it looks really cool. It's greenish. I guess that's what it's supposed to be. So I have it up on high right now. I want to sit there and get it up to boiling again. And then we're just going to let it start boiling down and to make our syrup. So I guess if we make syrup, you don't boil it. It's probably only half this. And then molasses, you take it just a little bit further. Not sure which way I'm going to go. We're going to see what we got. We'll check back. Let's see. It's 5:54 in the evening. We're going to check back around about 6:30 in about 45 minutes to see what we got. Well, it's kind of foggy. There we go. It's 6:35. It's been boiling for about 45 minutes, and you can see from the line in the pan that it's gone down almost an inch. But I have it boiling. It is actually up on high boiling. So, and I'm just going to let it stay like that and just keep going. And I'll check back in about another hour and show you where we're at. Well, it's been a little over an hour, and as you can see, I went ahead and put in a candy thermometer. It has gone down, goodness, about 3.5 inches. Candy thermometer is still reading around 210 degrees. It's got a nice golden color. I think I'm going to have to let it sit out for a little bit and let it cool. Let's put some on a spoon and we'll let it cool down. See if it gets thicker. It's supposed to get thicker as it cools, so you're not going to see it thick right away. But that has really boiled down a lot. Yep, still thin. Okay, we're going to just let it keep going until it gets thicker and when it cools. So at this point in time, we still don't even have syrup yet. We'll lower our thermometer down some and let it keep going. We'll check back. I'm going to be checking on it every half hour now. We're getting close to down there. So I got to keep an eye on it, make sure it's not going to burn or anything. But we'll be back. Oh, it's been another 30 minutes, a little after 8 now. And I'm going to remove the thermometer. Stir. You see that we're down to practically nothing at this point. Now I do know that it will not thicken while it's hot. It has to be cool. So we're going to... It is actually a little bit thicker. I'm going to put some on a spoon and let it sit. Put it on a plate. Let it cool a little. It's still a little runny. I think so. Oh, it looks like it's starting to thicken. But I got the ladle all the way down to the bottom, so we're just barely any left. So we're going to keep a real close eye on it now. It's going to turn pretty much any time. So when it's done, we'll be right back. We're going to just keep an eye on it now and just keep boiling it. So you can see it's only been a couple minutes, but I think we are just about there. Definitely getting a lot thicker, really, really quick. And I think we're at molasses. So now it's just a matter of really keeping an eye on it. You see it's getting thicker and thicker. That's it. Look at that. Again, it's going to get thicker and stuff as it cools. You see how it brings a straight line, a nice straight line before it's almost done? So that means it's coating the spoon. See that? Yeah, I think that's it. It's amazing how fast it went. Just that little time. And we're only talking maybe about 3 minutes. And it just turned right away. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to pull it off. Woo, all the steam. And there it is. And molasses. That's nice. Did not produce a whole lot, but I didn't expect it to produce a whole lot. But you know what? I got a jar here. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up. And we'll see how much is in it. Alright. Where I poured it in, there's not much. But I got what's left in the pan that didn't pour out. And I wanted to show you. Well, let's take this off because we don't need that. Show you how thick this is. That is how thick it is. It is definitely molasses. And does it taste like molasses? Yes, it does. It has that smoked sugar taste. And don't get me wrong, it's good. But that is what we got. So do we have cup measurements here? Yeah. We have ounces and cups. Almost 1 cup. So about 3/4. 3/4 of a cup. It wasn't hard. I guess the only hard part, well, for me, it was taking the stalks apart and stuff. But grinding it was really super easy. It went really quick. Boiling it, although it took a lot of time, it did sit there, it was easy. I mean, you just had to check on it every hour and just give it a stir. I'm glad I stuck around it for this last part. I did not realize it was going to change that quickly, but it did. But we have homemade molasses, and we can use that as sugar. So, anyways, I think that turned out really, really well. It is a lot like cooking down maple syrup. It goes and goes and goes, and then at the last minute, last couple minutes, you just got to stay right on top of it because it goes so quick and it will burn if you don't get it off. So that worked out really, really well. So we now have 3/4 cup of pure golden molasses. It is not real dark and black like sugar molasses. So it has a golden color and it's good. So there you go. Anyways, if you like this video, hit the subscribe button. If you want to know when we upload the next video, hit the notifications bell and you'll get a message or an email letting you know that we uploaded. And if you want to see more things like this, leave a comment in the description and hit the like button if you like it. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe and we will see you on the next video. Thanks.